responsible for finance, our distinguished resource persons, Clerk to Parliament and Deputy Clerk to Parliament, the management and staff of the Parliamentary Service, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this post-budget workshop for all members of Parliament, committee clerks, research officers, and the press corps of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic. Your prompt response to my invitation to this workshop, being hosted here in Hu, the capital of the Volta region, away from the comfort of your families, is an indication of the importance you attach to this program, for which I commend you all. Let me also acknowledge the wise decision of the Business Committee to host the workshop far away from Accra. I have no doubt that this serene venue of Volta Serene Hotel provides the right environment for such a workshop. A workshop that creates a great opportunity for participants, especially the members of the parliamentary community, to have a deeper appreciation of the budget statement and be able to contribute meaningfully to the deliberations on it. This is the ultimate objective of the post-budget workshop. Let me say a word about the history of post-budget workshops. Post-budget workshops, after the presentation of the annual budget statement and economic policy of government to Parliament, have become a routine annual activity on the calendar of Parliament. The history of these workshops can be traced to the time when the Parliament of Ghana and the then Parliamentary Center, under the leadership of Dr. Rashid Dramani, worked together under a parliamentary strengthening program. Some challenges facing Parliament at the time were identified. Key among the challenges was the inadequate understanding of the budget by many members of Parliament and the lack of in-house expertise to support the members with analysis of the budget to enable Parliament to make relevant and meaningful inputs and recommendations to the annual instrument of implementing the development program of the country. Consequently, the Parliamentary Center initiated a post-budget workshop in 1998, which was at the time called the Annual Workshop Retreats, targeting mainly members of the Finance Committee. This initiative turned into a budget workshop when the first post-budget workshop was held in Elmina in November 2005. The Parliamentary Center ran the post-budget workshop until 2012, when Parliament took over its organization and expanded it to cover more members of Parliament as it is today. This is one of the clear instances of Parliament picking up and institutionalizing an intervention which was started by a partner. Since then, the post-budget workshop has remained an important tool for shaping and fine-tuning the annual budget statement and economic policy of government. It's important to stress the essential nature of budgeting. Honorable members, budgeting, as you all know, allows a person, family, group, or country to create a spending plan for money generated. A budget is meant to ensure that a person, family, or country always have enough money for things of need and importance to the individual, family, or country. The benefits of budgeting, therefore, include the following. The budget gives you control of your money. It helps you to focus on your financial goals. It keeps you on top of what you are spending. It makes it easier to stay aware of your savings and debts. It helps you to save for unexpected costs, and also helps you to figure out what you can borrow. Whilst a number of provisions in the Constitution of Ghana 1992, such as Articles 34, 76, 108, 179, and 180, confer authority on the President, in whom resides the executive authority of government, to lead the preparation and submission of the budget and financial policy of the state to Parliament. Parliament is equally, by various provisions of the same Constitution, such as Articles 93, 103, 106, 174 to 179, 181, and 184, mandated to take several measures to ensure the budget and financial statement addresses the needs of the people in such a way as to create and establish a just and free society. This activity of debating and approval of the budget and financial policy proposals of the President is so crucial to the health, well-being, and quality of life of the country and its people that Parliament have to always employ and put into use all its functions, skills, and tools of deliberation, representation, lawmaking, financial security, oversight, and priority setting. You've already heard a mention of the power of the purse. Let me add my voice to it. Honorable members, we are therefore here today to prepare ourselves towards the performance of these critical functions of Parliament, particularly financial control, otherwise known as the power of the purse. Chapter 13 of the 1992 Constitution variously vets the power to approve the raising of revenue through taxation, contraction of loans, or international business or economic transactions in Parliament. The control of all public funds is thus placed in the hands of Parliament. Honorable members, in accordance with this chapter, especially Article 1792 of the Constitution, the annual estimates of expenditure of public offices and public corporations, other than those set up as commercial ventures, are to be included in an appropriation bill. This bill is to be introduced in Parliament to provide for the disbursement of the sums of money necessary to meet the expenditure of government and the purposes specified in that bill. Parliament is thus called upon to legislate in this respect. In addition to the constitutional provisions, the Public Financial Management Act 2016, PFM Act, further requires Parliament to provide oversight in respect of 1. Matters relating to budget and finance. 2. Government expenditure. 3. Performance reporting. 4. Post-legislative scrutiny. And 5. The impact of financial policy measures on the economy. Clearly, one critical role Parliament plays in the budget process is the guardian of the public purse, to ensure that government does not make additional expenditures other than those approved by Parliament. This is to prevent government and state institutions from coming to us with the situation described by Keith Davis. Those who have studied journalism and communication will recall Keith Davis, the motivational speaker, who said as follows, I quote, we didn't actually overspend our budget. The allocation simply fell short of our expenditure. This can only be said by a communicator. We didn't actually overspend our budget. The allocation simply fell short of our expenditure. I hope this will guide us in looking at the figures. That, in part, is what Parliament wants to avoid, using our oversight function to ensure some discipline in the management of the public purse. The blame of lack of, or misuse of, or misappropriation of public funds should be placed equally, therefore, at the step of both the President and Parliament. To this respect, one needs not emphasize the importance of the post-budget workshop to Parliament and parliamentarians. It is therefore unfortunate for members to sometimes be seen to rather act as guard dogs of the President and not watchdogs of the people during budget debates on the floor of Parliament and on the airwaves. After stating this, it's important to also look at the challenges we face in performing this duty. In spite of the powers of Parliament and its role in scrutinizing and approving the budget, there are a number of snags on the path of Parliament in performing this role. A thorough review of financial proposals, such as the National Budget Statement, requires time for scrutiny and a properly timed budget process, where the budget is laid sufficiently in advance of the beginning of the financial year. In the Ghanaian context, however, when the budget is laid in Parliament, Parliament has less than 1 month to consider and approve it. Secondly, the issue-making process by Parliament in respect of budget approval should be evidence-based. This requires readily available accurate data and information that members and the House can rely on in its deliberation. However, access to relevant and high-quality information by the House to enable to take informed decisions on the budget is limited. Information and data, such as the impact of the budget on women and children, the youth and the aged, rural as against urban areas, and how aligned the budget is to the national priorities is crucial in the debate and approval of the budget. Parliament, as presently constituted, lacks the ability to independently analyze budgetary information with such short time frame available to the House. It is not because members have no such capacity, but that Parliament is constrained by several constitutional, legal, and institutional weaknesses. Honorable members, international best practice recommends that a minimum of 3 to 4 months is required for the approval of a budget by the legislature, if that approval is to be based on meaningful analysis and scrutiny. Additionally, the budget should be tabled sufficiently in advance of the financial year to which it relates, to enable the legislature to make decisions that matter and when they matter. I invite you all to critically examine the Ghana experience in relation to international best practice in order to create our own fit-for-purpose process in relation to the proposed private members' bill, the budget bill, pending before the Legal Department of Parliament. This workshop, honorable members, no doubt offers MPs the opportunity to listen to presentations, explanations, and views of the resource person on both the technical and practical aspects of the budget. It is my expectation that this will equip you with the necessary understanding and tools to adequately discharge your responsibilities of ascertaining the extent to which the budget addresses the numerous problems of your constituents and reflects on the collective interests, needs, and aspirations of the citizenry as a whole before voting to approve it. As William E. Gladstone, the former United Kingdom Premier, said, I quote, "Budgets are not merely affairs of arithmetic, but in 1,000 ways go to the root of the prosperity of individuals, the relations of classes, and the strength of kingdoms," unquote. The scrutiny of the budget by Parliament should therefore make Ghana stronger and better positioned to face the challenges that confront it and its people. Honorable members, in addition, we need to bear in mind of what Tim Walz, Governor of Minnesota, said, I quote, "The budgets we work on in Parliament are more than just fiscal documents. They are a reflection of our moral values as well. In choosing where to spend, members of Parliament choose what priorities they value," unquote. So, honorable members, do not think that we are here only to understand and give directions on numbers. The debate on the budget will also signal the values that members stand for, what we cherish, and the direction we want Ghana to go. The ability to meet the aspirations of our people as MPs within the framework of the National Development Policy, while contributing to the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals and the African Union Agenda 2063, depends largely on how effective we are in performing our financial control and oversight functions over the executive. I now say a word on the quality of debate. Honorable members, it is a truism that members of Parliament do not have all the knowledge required to perform all their constitutionally mandated functions. And even though the varied experiences and educational backgrounds of individual members are vital and relevant for effective performance and delivery of desired results, no individual member or Parliament can be said to be a repository of all the knowledge and experiences required to perform all the functions of the House. To make up for this deficiency, we have assembled a team of experienced resource persons of various backgrounds from among think tanks, civil society organizations, academia, and other experts to present analysis of sections and sectors of the national budget from their perspectives. We expect this team to provide well-resourced evidence to support or object to the proposals in the budget, which is under the theme, as we've already been told, quote, "Economic revitalization through completion, consolidation, and continuity," unquote. The presentations of these resource persons will ultimately help shape the quality of debate by members of Parliament when discussing the budget in plenary. A number of interesting topics have been lined up for presentation in the course of the 3 days that will be here. These have already been stated by the clerk to Parliament, and I don't intend to repeat them. What I'll do now is to urge members to engage in thought-provoking deliberations and take home lessons from the workshop that can enrich debate and discussions of the budget at the plenary. In the past years that we have been holding these workshops, the post-budget workshop platform had created a better understanding of the national budget and encouraged members of Parliament to reach bipartisan recommendations in many areas of the annual budget and economic policy statement. These consultations prior to the House debate and passage of the Appropriation Act had always resulted in shared learnings between Parliament on the one hand and the executive on the other. It has shed light on the relevant information Parliament needed to effectively debate the budget and recommended changes that helped to achieve the objectives of the budget. I hope this time around the workshop will produce the same, if not better, outcomes. In conclusion, therefore, let me refer to the second Global Parliamentary Report 2017, which states that oversight as a core function of Parliament is essential for building effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions as envisioned by Agenda 2030 of the Sustainable Development Goal 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions. Similarly, performing our financial control functions effectively helps to ensure that appropriate resources are provided to implement government programs, identify unintended or negative effects of government policy and actions, and monitor the meeting of national and international commitments. When we perform our oversight and financial control roles sufficiently, the impact is felt throughout society as resources are distributed more fairly and services such as education and healthcare are delivered more effectively and efficiently. Honorable members, at the end of the day, after all has been said and done, it is left to your conscience and integrity to do what is right and in the interest of the country and our people. Before I declare the workshop open, I must say I'm very gratified to see so many of you here. It's not everybody, but I see almost all members of the leadership and very, very senior members present here. And I like the high spirits that has already been demonstrated. We are likely to get a very lively and enriching debate. And I want to commend members for that. Even before I could open formally the workshop itself, that will prepare us to debate. I've already witnessed a very lively debate this morning. Honorable members, staff of Parliament, friends of the media, it is now my honor and privilege to declare the 2021 post-budget workshop duly open. I thank you for your attention.